Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a $250 gaming budget build. Now this PC is a little bit different than the one I built last time. Most of the parts are sourced online, Craigslist or Facebook classifieds. Now I did buy some parts from Amazon. So the first being a 250 gigabyte PNY solid state drive. You can get the budget down a little bit cheaper, down to $250 if you went the route I did with my last build and bought a refurbished drive. But honestly, this PC came at like $260 for everything. So I felt like, sure, why not get a solid state drive? This one was really cheap. I only got the 240 gigabyte version. I also went ahead and since our last power supply didn't catch on fire in our $300 budget gaming PC, I bought another one. Now this one comes in at 470 watts. This is the Captain power supply. Now the one thing I'm concerned about is that 970 graphics card that we got draws a lot of power. Technically this should work, but again, I wouldn't recommend this normally because this is like right at that limit. I think you're supposed to be using like a 500 watt power supply. But anyhow, we'll see if it works. And airflow is crucial when you're doing a build like this. So we went ahead and got some RGB fans. Well, actually just one fan, because we're on a budget. I got the motherboard. I believe I found the motherboard on Craigslist. It was either Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, one of the two. But anyhow, I think I found it for like $120, and after talking to the guy, he went down to like $110, which was a fair price. And for that price, I got a motherboard, 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and an i5 CPU. And I'll have like a link to the specs of everything during the video somewhere. And that's actually a really good deal. So for just over $100, I got the motherboard, CPU, and RAM. That meant I only needed to get a graphics card and also a solid state drive or a hard drive and a power supply and a case. But we'll talk about that later. So that was the first deal that I found. Second deal that I found was a really great one. I found a practically almost brand new GeForce GTX 970. Paid $100 for this. This is actually a really powerful card. It's not a current gen card, but it will play most games without a problem. So here's what we got. Now, something that I found out the hard way was that a 470 watt power supply is not powerful enough to supply a 980. There were a couple things on the internet that said it could, but can't, trust me. So I went ahead and I bought a 600 watt power supply. I got this off Best Buy for like $39, it was on sale. So the build is still under $300. I think it's at like $280 now, but I'll have an exact number in the video once I tally everything up. I was running GPU benchmark or something, some benchmark, and it was running fine up until I got to the part where it started benchmarking the GPU, and then the whole system just shut down. What I suspect is the GPU drew too much power because the 470 watt power supply is underrated for the setup. When I bought that power supply off Amazon, I didn't know that I'd find a 980 GPU. I thought it'd have something less powerful, like a 1050 or something. It's a good problem to have. We have a more powerful GPU. But anyhow, long story short, I tried running it anyways, as you saw with all those crazy power adapters, and of course, it didn't work. I was playing PUBG and I was getting like, I think over 100 frames per second on ultra or high settings, which is really good. And I had the power cable kind of draped over the desk with my hand resting on top of it, and I felt the power cable start to heat up. So I shut the whole system down and I said, I don't want to burn the system out, testing this any further. I went to Best Buy, picked up a 600 watt EVGA power supply. Now, this power supply should be more than enough to power the 970 GPU, and it should have all the correct power cables, a 6-pin and an 8-pin for the GPU. That should have everything right on it, so I won't have those crazy power converter connections. I'm gonna hook everything up, test it. Hopefully we can run some benchmarks and see how it goes.